Move you over there. Over there. Let's present. See, I'm doing a presentation as well, except I'm not getting money for it.
Judges and jury's not done yet, Tom.
Sorry?
Jury's not done yet. I'll be judging.
Yeah. What, do I get prize money?
Yeah, what's your software solution?
Google Slides, whatever this is called.
Slide decks now, apparently we're calling them, because we can't just call them PowerPoint presentations anymore because we're all giant wankers.
Well, PowerPoint is like Band-Aid, you know, it's a trademark. So
I know, but just like, yes, we have to call them slide decks now. I think of a slide deck and I think of like a patio with a sliding door on a deck, you know. It's LinkedIn has so much to answer for.
anyway, let's get this underway. Yeah, well, welcome to the presentations of the Hacktistic Hackathon, a name suggested by Ilya, which I laughed at for 5 minutes because I thought it was like the worst name ever. But
I didn't think it was that funny, but for some reason
I thought it was.
I'm sitting there like with the beer man going like, what? It's not that funny. It's just a portmanteau. And he's like, but it's brilliant. Because you had another team name, another thing as well that you liked.
Yeah, I know Kristen can't make it. I did see the message from earlier today. Thank you, Jason, for that. That's perfectly fine as long as we have a representative from each team to present. But anyway, yeah, it was a name that I eventually warmed to, and when one of our members, Maida, said, I like this name too, it was pretty much decided that that's the name we're going to go with. And yeah, Hacktistic. I love it. I hope you do too. With special love and thanks to our major sponsor, Tech Global, who, you know, greatly supports the autistic talent, neurodiverse talent. They support me. I've been a proud employee of theirs for 8.5 years now. And they've also supplied, you know, they've been pushing this hackathon like crazy as well. And they've even interviewed me as well as even an opinion piece. So there's even an interview with me on the website as well. And they also supplied mentors as well for this hackathon too. Who've been hopping on the Discord all week and giving their sage advice. So much appreciated. And also love and thanks to our community partner, Hackathons Australia, where I reckon we probably found about half the members, half the people who ultimately signed up for this thing. And in particular, special thanks to CEO and founder of Hackathons Australia, Angela, who's not here tonight. I think she's based in Nashville these days. She's kind of the queen of hackathons. She's pretty much championed the idea of hackathons as a great tool for innovation and change. And it's in this vein that this hackathon, Hacktistic, has also been presented. You know, before we begin our presentation tonight, as is tradition at each Lions Club meeting that we hold, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we've gathered on this evening. And we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture, and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples from all across the nation. And so, yeah, this is what we're doing. So I'm basically going to give an overview of the last week, what we've been doing, and then we'll get to formally introduce the judges. And then I'll describe how this is all going to work. And then we're going to listen to our wonderful presentations, our 5 teams. And then once they're done, we'll invite the jury to temporarily leave this meeting to go and discuss and decide and deliberate as to which 3 teams are worthy of prize money. In that time, I guess we just sort of chat amongst ourselves, do whatever. I mean, if anyone from Eccentrics is here, that'd be probably a good time to spruik the company. That would be nice. Or any other community groups as well. Any other news you'd like to share, that'd be a good time for that. And then once the jury is done deciding, they'll knock on my virtual door and be let back in. And then they'll announce the prize winners. And then there's a whole bunch of thank yous, and then we're done. So yeah, from laughing for 5 minutes uncontrollably to pure awesomeness, that's Hacktistic, Sure, most of you probably know what a hackathon is, but for those that don't, I mean, I think this is a pretty nice description of what it's about, And it's also reflective of our club's view on what being autistic is. I mean, it's a distinct neurotype, different way of perceiving the world, condition for some, identity for others, definitely not a disorder. And it's different, but not less, That's the way I see it. And so, yeah, at the beginning of this month, we launched this thing, once we finally got the go-ahead from our sponsor that they're going to be giving us the prize money. We opened the registrations on Eventbrite, and we broadcast this thing far and wide. We spammed a whole lot of people. We've sent out media releases, and 36 people showed interest. Yeah, special thanks to Earlier for the media releases. 36 people from all across our broad brown land came and signed up. And yeah, and then on the 21st, we had our information session right here on Zoom. And even though, yeah, and it's to be expected that you have this attrition rate, people who sign up, not everyone shows up. And even then, amongst the people that signed up and actually showed up to the information session, only 16 people ultimately competed. And that's perfectly fine. In fact, I think that's a pretty good result, in my opinion. And at that information session, I showed them the welcome pack. I gave all the contestants the welcome pack, and we went through it. I described a lot of things to them, answered their questions, and then formed the teams, gave them their marching orders to come back here on Thursday with some answers. And this is what I told them to do. This is what they were told to do for a whole week. I asked them the question, a simple question, a deceptively simple question in my opinion, because there is no simple answer. In fact, tonight you'll find 5 different answers to this question. How can we improve the quality of life for autistic people? So yeah, they've been deliberating all week, racking their brains, digging deep, doing deep dives, lively discussions over voice chat, over text chat, Discord, whatever. And they've been, preparing and polishing their presentations, their 7-minute presentations, which they'll be giving. They'll be answering your question for all of you tonight. And in their quest, they weren't alone. As I've mentioned earlier, we had mentors, most of whom were from Eccentrics, myself included, but we also had, one of our club members here, Lotus, as well. I think some of our members were quite enamored. Some of the contestants were rather enamored with and appreciative of her particular insight. I mean, yeah, she's in the call. I can hear her. You did well, Lotus. You did well.
Thanks.
Much appreciated. And much appreciations to all the mentors here tonight as well. I'm sure you learned something as well, and they all learned something from you too. I mean, it was an exchange of ideas. And I remember having a lot of lively conversations as well. I mean, it was a great opportunity for me to, well, to pretty much sell my autistic experience, because what I did was I encouraged all the contestants to use each other as resources, use the autistic participants, mentors, and other contestants as resources in coming up with their solution to their problems, our lived experiences. I mean, because as I said, I mean, you know, a solution without autistic input is not really a solution at all. So that's just my opinion, but I think the best solutions are the ones that involve us autistic people. And so here are the 5 teams. These are their quirky names. I mean, and this is the running order in which they will present. Have Liquid Maze, Plain and Simple, Gibberish, TalkToMe, Motley crew of Eccentrics. I'll present in this order, and I'll invite them to come up and give their presentations in that order. Yep. And so, yeah, now I guess now is the time to have the judges talk a little bit about themselves, because, you know, you don't want to hear my voice all night. But the key thing is these 3 people that I've chosen here tonight are at this intersection of autism, technology, and industry in their own way. I mean, 2 of them are CEO and founders of their own companies, and one's a dev and a colleague of mine who's on the spectrum, you know, and he runs a team. So, yeah. But anyway, Mike, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Very excited to be here, first of all. I think it was yeah, almost a year ago that I first heard about this hackathon as an idea, and it's really exciting to see it coming about and taking place. So yeah, exceptional. We're really focused on getting people into work and seeing that goal you've got for the hackathon as helping improve the quality of life for people. That's, you know, that's what kind of drives us every day. And yeah, we have a team that's about 75% autistic working on our solution, and so I can totally agree with you that it's really important to have people that are experiencing the problem every day involved in building the solution. So yeah, it's great to be here, and yeah, I'm inspired every day by a number of people in my family and a number of friends of mine and colleagues who are autistic, and I see, yeah, the amazing strengths that they have to offer, and yet so often unfortunately locked out of the community and the world of work. And so I'm excited to see what solutions come out of this that can help to break down barriers, open doors, and yeah, whenever I go to hackathons like this, I really hope that these ideas don't just stop at the end of this time, but actually will, yeah, take fruit and go forward. So yeah, as a kind of
my hope too, Mike.
yeah. So yeah, just to say that my idea, well, my company Exceptional 5 years ago was just an idea in similar events like this one. So and now we're a 10-person company. So yeah, I'd inspire you to really believe, particularly if you come out one of the winners, that you could really make this happen.
Well, or even if you don't win, I mean, seriously, I think we're all winning solutions here in every respect. So
True.
We'll see. Thanks for that, Mike. Welcome back. Sanai, a few words from you, if you please.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super, super excited. I met Tom and the other team few months ago, and it's just so inspired by what you guys are doing. So super keen to
The other team.
hear everyone's ideas and really see what amazing solutions people have come up with. I am the founder of Axe and Play, and we also put a lot of focus on how we can create something fun and engaging to tackle certain situations that can be uncomfortable. So we're creating video games to help autistic adults and anyone to really overcome different social challenges by building really positive relationships through fun and engaging, like a dry hunt experience. So also we just started as a very small idea. When we're progressing at the moment, we're doing a lot of testing and prototyping, and really excited to hear everything and hear what you guys have come up with.
I've had lots of fun testing your game too.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Sanai. Jacob, a few words from you.
Good day, everyone. Yeah, my name's Jacob. I've been working at WiseTech for about maybe 7 years now. I spent a long time as a developer, and I really enjoyed it. I really appreciate it, and I just love technology. Tom and I, before even WiseTech, Tom and I were together in the Programmers Society, trying to sponsor. Sorry. love of programming amongst others, and yeah, I also happen to be autistic. I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was young. I don't know if I like the word diagnosed. It was discovered.
Yeah.
But which makes team leader a little bit of an unusual career path for me, perhaps. But I don't think it's held me back. I think it's if anything, it's helped me more than anything else.
Yeah. How many people are under your charge, Jacob?
Not a huge amount. It's peaked at 9, currently at 5.
Yeah,
because we have rotators, and you know how it goes.
yeah,
People come.
Yeah. I got a rotator on Tuesday joining me, so we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jacob. Nice to have Jacob tonight and Mike on board. Honored, really. And so we come to the presenting part. This is basically how it's going to work. One team at a time, obviously. I mean, not that you can do more than one anyway, because screen sharing doesn't permit it. We want to be talking over each other either. 10 minutes to present. I mean, give or take a few minutes, you know. There's only 5 of us here tonight, so I can be a bit lenient, you know. But obviously, if you're taking too long, I will say, hurry up, wind this up. So 7 minutes of talking from our lovely presenters. And then 3 minutes from our judges asking various questions that they may have. And I also invite you, the audience, to ask questions through chat, please, not through voice, because yeah, your video, your audio will be muted, and unless you want to appear on camera, because we're going to upload this online onto our YouTube channel for the rest of the world to see, as we do a lot of our Lions meetings, you might want to turn your camera off. And so I say best of luck to all of our brave contestants. I will stop this screen share, and when we do, I will invite Liquid Maze to come and commence their presentation. Let's just allow participants to share screen. Liquid Maze.
Hello.
Hi, Mohammed.
How's
Hi.
it going?
Hello.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Nice.
The floor is yours.
Present. Sarah, when you want to start.
Good evening, everyone. We are Team Liquid Maze, and today we'll be taking you on a journey to discover how we aim to assess autistics in communication through Sentextament. But first, let me introduce you to Frankie. Frankie is 16 years old, who is currently studying in high school. He has a lot of friends, but sometimes he struggles to interpret the tone of others, especially through messages. One day, Frankie missed the alarm, so he decided not to go to school and take the day off. After school, he messaged his friend Amy, asking her what did they do at school today, hoping that Will Smith did not show up at school. Amy explained that he did not miss out on anything, but she said that the trigonometry lesson was so far her favorite in math. Now, Frankie was happy to hear this, since he knows Amy isn't the best in math, not knowing she was being sarcastic, so he congratulated her. Amy informed Frankie that she was being sarcastic and that she is struggling as usual. Now, this made Frankie feel frustrated, since he could not pick up on Amy's tone, until he downloaded Sentextament, an extension assisting anyone who finds it hard to interpret the tone of messages. Now Frankie can easily understand the tone of messages, allowing him to enjoy all different types of conversation.
Autistic individuals like Frankie also struggle to interpret the tone of messages. A study by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare in 2015 showed 52% of 83,000 autistic young adults face communication difficulties. We also conducted a survey that showed 84% of autistic individuals can feel misunderstood when messaging others, and 68% are not confident communicating through text messages. This is why we came up with Sentextament, an add-on that detects the tone of text messages. It directly informs users of the tone of their messages they have sent in order to avoid misunderstandings. Sentextament will not only assist autistic individuals, but also aid in building communication skills. Our design intends to maintain 3 key points: an AI that is self-learning, which is able to improve its sentiment analysis, a seamless extension to messaging services so that users are comfortable using the messaging app of their choice, and it should remain secure to ensure the privacy of our users. All this while improving communication.
Okay, so we'll show our demo now. So we decided, as we said before, we're adding it as an extension to already existing apps. So we decided to choose WhatsApp. Okay, so say you're typing a message, hey, I'm happy to exist. Really positive. A positive card would show up reflecting the emotion or sentiment of your message. Let's see a different example. So a sad message would show a sad card. And then an angry message, my disappointment is measurable and my day is ruined, would show an angry card. So let's say we wanted more analysis as to why an angry card has been chosen. If we click on the card, more analysis will come up. So a weighted sum of the angry words will be added. So disappointment and ruin for a total of -6. Let's move on to a different example. Let's say you typed a message and the incorrect sentiment was reflected in the card. So I really dislike beans, please stop making beans, please. A more appropriate emotion for this would be sadness. So if we wanted to fix up the sentiment of this card, we would drag to the right and select a more appropriate one, for example, sadness. Okay, now we can send the message. It would appear up here. So as you can see, the color and the small caption reflects the emotion of the card. So we have neutral and white for neutral, green and happy for happiness. So as with before, we can click on a message to show more analysis. Here we have the weighted sum again, dislike for -1, please stop for -1 for a total of -2. These are the ranges of emotions or sentiments we want to support and their respective colors and captions: anger, fear, surprise, happiness, sadness, disgust, and romance. We will allow users to customize these as well, so it's more convenient for them if they prefer certain colors to represent certain emotions. Okay, Ibrahim, on to you. Ibrahim.
All right, so we have over here a demo to demonstrate that the technology that we were talking about is actually possible. So we'll first sign into what we made using a very secure method of just a username. And you'll be able to see that as we start typing, it gives us live feedback on the different words that we're using and how they show the positive or negative sentiment of the message. We're able to send it. And then if we decide to get some more information on a previous message, we can click on any of them. And then it'll give us a bit of information about the negative and positive words in the message. The format of the display right now is a little bit raw. It's not super user friendly, but it's pretty easy to imagine how we would translate something like this into a more meaningful and like user-friendly format. Yeah, so this is our tech demo, and I think we're done. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, thank you. You might want to stop sharing the screen now.
Yep.
Okay, judges, do we have any questions for our contestants here for Liquid Maze?
I've got one.
Go, Jacob.
Yes.
So I couldn't quite tell. Is this sentiment analysis for messages going out or coming in? Is this to help me express the way that I'm feeling, or is it to help me understand the way others are feeling?
So we have for both. When you send a message, a card appears to show you, help you understand what you're sending, what the implications of what you're sending. When a message comes, you could also click on it and see the sentiment of that. So let's say you might have misinterpreted your friend's message. You can click on that message and get closure on whether it's you've misinterpreted. If it confirms your misinterpretation, you could ask him why so. If not, you could feel happy that your misunderstanding has been fixed up.
Cool. Thank you.
I've got a question. But first I want to say I think it's a fascinating idea. I could see it be useful for some of our team communications who have been exceptional. And actually, I think it also helped me with communicating with my kids who are just learning instant messaging as well. But I wonder what's the cost model? How do you see this being charged to the user?
So we know like companies are now starting to want to like get on the hypes of supporting people, supporting minorities and stuff. So the idea is for certain companies to start supporting these minorities, and through that they'll get their own revenue and own success, right? From there, we're also like providing them. So this is all requires AI and analysis and stuff. So it's in the interest of a company to improve its own artificial intelligence and data collection. Now, saying this, we want to keep things secure and not give the user's data information away. So by doing so, companies will be able to improve their AI and sentimental analysis and start being like, we're providing them the training data for the research. So imagine you send a message with its respective sentiment. So this data will form like a neural network or a decision tree as a training data set where they could input it into their system. Upon doing so, they can develop more and better technologies for not really ethical things, like so targeted ads, but however, like depending on the company. So let's say WhatsApp isn't as ethical as Signal. some of its privacy features are like, so they take a lot more of your data. So it depends now on each company how they will use their data, how they will use this extension.
Thank you.
To put it another way, it could also be seen that we would be providing the service to companies to integrate into their own apps. So it would be good for a company to better support its users. We would help the company provide the support. So we would be like, the monetization would be between the chat app and us, not directly through the users of the chat app.
Yeah.
Goes to know.
So it would
Got
almost
it.
be like Grammarly, where you just
Yes.
add it to your Chrome.
Yes.
Yeah,
Also,
that
I
would be.
really want to congratulate the amazing presentation. Really great that you started off with this story, and then were able to really demonstrate a quick demo. Very impressive under a very short amount of time. So well done. Something that I wanted to ask, when, first of all, before you need to get the data for individual communication. So for example, figuring out whether someone is being sarcastic or figuring out their tone of voice and their slang, how long is the filtration or like the data collection of the individual before you're able to quickly adapt it to the individual person that people are communicating with?
So you're asking about the time it takes for personalized messages analysis.
Yeah.
So this all depends on information gathering theory and stuff. So the more data we can collect from a certain user, the more accurate our analysis will be. So we can't really give you a specific amount of messages. So the more messages, the better analysis we'll have.
Cool.
The more accurate the splits on. So let's say we have two emotions, happiness and excitement. They're pretty similar, right? So if we wanted to do like splits on whether we classify this as happy or excitement, we want to first get a lot of data to differentiate between happiness and excitement from a certain user. They might have different mannerisms in speaking compared to other users. So upon collecting this data, more filtering data would sift stuff into the correct classification. We would be able to identify what the appropriate sentiment would be personal wise.
So basically you will request access to the previous messages and more information on both parties.
Yes. That would also be like a jump start to the whole process.
Cool.
Yeah, and we have one question from the chat. How does this actually address sarcasm?
So initially, it's difficult to detect all range of emotions, and sarcasm would be a pretty difficult one. So as more data comes in, the more the system understands internet slang. So for example, /s in
is an
internet
indicator for sarcasm. Yeah?
Sarcasm, yeah. The AI will start detecting this and will be able to associate that this means sarcasm, for example.
Right. And then what about cases where it's doesn't have that /s? I mean, how will it infer sarcasm from context like humans do, or
We thought,
it's a really difficult problem. So things like sarcasm will probably end up having to rely on the user to indicate it manually. But it's also possible, since a lot of machine learning stuff is still under development, that after some time we'll be able to find underlying patterns between the flow of a conversation, and the machine might be able to predict that this is probably sarcasm. Also, if it's able to successfully build profiles of specific users, it'll be easier to determine if like this person tends to use these sorts of words when they're being sarcastic, and then being able to better predict these sorts of things.
Yeah, no, it's a great application of AI and ML. What can I say?
Yeah, just adding on, sorry. Some people do use some users do use quotations around a specific word to note that they're being sarcastic. Some people use emojis at the end of their message, for example. And when the AI becomes more personalized, as Ibrahim said, it will start detecting after understanding the user more often. Yeah.
Cool. All right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
that,
you.
Liquid
Thank you.
Maze. You are dismissed. Well, no, please do stay, obviously. Plain and simple, to the podium, please. The virtual podium. You have the floor.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Sweet. Where are my teammates? Somewhere.
Right. I have a little trouble turning on my camera right now.
But I can hear you. That's all that
Okay.
matters.
Oh no. Okay, cool. Slight technical difficulties, but it's fine.
Take no notice.
I'm a bird. Okay.
Okay, I just need to hide. There we go. Okay,
Cool.
staying with us. Yeah, let's get started. Hi, my name is Ira. I'm currently studying psychology and human science at uni and majoring in cognitive brain science. And I was just keen for utilizing and expanding my knowledge in this hackathon.
My name is Sabrina and I tutor young children. Currently, I'm studying business information systems and cognitive and brain science at uni. I'm hoping to apply the knowledge, this knowledge in real life scenarios.
Hi, my name is Vivian. I'm currently studying cognitive and brain sciences and psychology with aspirations of having a career as a child psychologist. I'm currently also an assistant therapist to a young boy with autism, and he has had a major influence over our program.
So let us present a narrative. This is James. He is 9 years old and he's in year 3 of primary school. On the weekends, he enjoys going to the park with his grandpa and playing on the red slide. At school, he finds difficulty in concentrating for long periods of time and answering questions. James's family is worried about his ability to keep up with his friends and peers at school. His parents are looking into other approaches that might be suitable for him in regards to learning at his own pace and his own ability. So we decided to create a game that is suitable for primary school children who are in need of academic support in subjects, including, but not limited to, in math, English, and science. Through our understanding of children with autism, we made an outline of all the important aspects to take into consideration. Some of these points included presenting a game that engaged the child and captured their attention. So this could be done through prompting instructions through lots of salience and visual cues, having clear basic one-liner instructions or vector lines or arrows. So this would limit us to having games that didn't involve any quest or extensive problem solving. We also thought to have a visual demonstration of what to do and appreciate the correct movements. So that could be through encouraging words or positive language, repeating the same movements and instructions. We prefer to have a tactile game that involved like some sort of clicking or dragging or some sort of buttons, and having some light, happy, positive music, and having many vibrant colors to intrigue the child.
Okay, so through our design journey, we were inspired by the mobile application Cut the Rope, which involved cutting ropes to deliver the treat to the friend. The game's objectives are outlined in a step-by-step tutorial that challenges players to solve puzzles that progressively become harder with each level. As the game progressed, there was also an option for the player to change the treat that was being delivered, introducing a personalizing factor to the game. Our initial plan for the game design was inspired by Bubble Pop, which placed math answers on bubbles that would fall from the sky. The player would then have to choose the correct bubble to answer the question below before progressing to higher levels. Our proposal is called Plain and Simple, and it consists of flying around a customizable plane to shoot clouds with the correct answer to the question provided below. The player will be able to do so by maneuvering their mouse to guide the plane and click holding to shoot. We hope to provide an entertaining and interactive learning platform for autistic children to discover their academic potential.
So with regards to the program development process, we use the programming software GDevelop. We decided to choose the plane and clouds template as the basis of our program. So next on our game menu, so this is kind of like a bit of a prototype. So as the title implies, the game involves a plane and is a rather simple design. The font of the title is meant to kind of replicate skywriting, and it is easy to read. The play button is positioned in the middle of the screen, kind of as like a visual pop out. And the next part is the subject menu. So the subject menu follows the same general color scheme. Plays are presented with 6 different subjects to choose from, and there is on the bottom left, there is a green back button to allow like players to exit back to the game menu. And then on the very right, we have an example for the instructions for the math proportion of the game. So instructions are written with simple sentences and important words are bold-faced and red. Moreover, the math symbols decorating the sides kind of like aid players by drawing like visual associations with the text.
So due to the time constraints, we will need to make some improvements. We did have some university and work commitments, so we were only able to code a basic demonstration of our game. We were able to successfully code a collision and scoreboard to register the answers picked. However, some more time will be necessary to program in the menu visual cued tutorial animations, such as having an arrow point to the cloud with the answer in the first few attempts. And equations and answers for the math category of the game will still need to be collated for the first stage of the production to be successful.
So with regards to our future plans, we plan to use a similar framework of collision with answers to program other categories such as English and science, with subcategories such as grammar, punctuation, animals, space, shapes, colors, famous icons, and so on. So for example, for English grammar, the question could be like, what is the past tense of eat? Or for example, geography, what is the capital of Australia? Furthermore, each category, we will have like a different avatar that the player can choose from and customize. So far, we only have a little red plane as our market persona has a preference for that color, but with time, we can expand on the skins and characters available. Additionally, levels can be added in future development processes to increase the sense of achievement when completing the activities. And also we want to make it available in different languages and thus making it globally inclusive.
So Plain and Simple will allow children to follow simple and short instructions to complete game tasks according to their learning wants and needs. The difficulty of the questions will be increased incrementally and accordingly, making it inclusive for primary school children of all ages. We hope that this idea can help children with autism to have more fun with their learning. So we do have a little video that we took of what we have so far. So hopefully you guys can see this. We've got the question down below and the plane is walking around, driving around to find the number.
Hear a lot of sound, but we're not seeing anything yet.
Oh, you've got the sound, but you're not seeing anything. Okay.
No. I have to maybe stop sharing the screen. I don't know. Share the blank screen.
Let's go back to the meeting. Please bring me back to the meeting. Okay, I might need to stop sharing. Hold up.
Yep.
Maybe restart sharing with video optimization.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. Yep, we can see it now.
Awesome. Yep. So we've got the question down below and the plane, got the clouds with the numbers, and yep. So the score goes up.
Cute.
And the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Well done. Beautiful. This is my area, so love when people gamify some activities and especially in this target group. My question is, so some of the games you mentioned that can be really complex and some can be easily played. Do you require a parental and or teacher supervision while the kids play the games?
Personally, I would think no, just because that I would doubt that we'll put anything that would kind of warrant that. Yeah, I kind of based it off my experience as like a like I've only started like as being an assistant therapist, and I've kind of watched my little kid kind of like just play around on like his iPad and kind of like play together and stuff. And yeah, I kind of thought that this kind of game would be quite suitable for him, and it is quite visual because he's not as verbal. Yeah, that's kind of why.
And who is the paid customer? Who would be the one to pay? Who are you selling the product to?
Oh,
Or would the parents be the one that paying for the
yeah,
product?
probably it would just be the parents. It could also be placed in like kind of like schools and stuff. So like in like it's kind of like be like for fun time, I guess. So like during a break time, they can play that. They can even play it with their friends and stuff. It'll be probably quite cool. Although we didn't mention this, but if we could add multiplayer as well, right? So then like it could be like two or more like kids playing together would be quite nice as well.
So the business model is basically annual subscription, or is it paying for each game or each module?
You could be paying for additional features like the extra skins and characters.
Okay, any other questions from the judges?
What did the little boy think of the game?
Oh, I haven't yet shown him the game, so hopefully maybe next week I'll show him.
Nice. You should tell him it was just for him.
Yeah.
And
I
do
think
let
he
us
would
know.
enjoy it.
Do let us know how it goes. Seriously.
Yeah.
Stay in
Will do.
touch. Mike, any questions?
Yeah, no more for me. I was going to ask about who was the paying customer, but that's already been addressed. Yeah, it looks like you made a great start. Great job.
Cool.
Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, all the time in the world.
So what are your competitors in this area? Because there's a lot of video games for young kids and autistic kids. What kind of your advantage, your competitive advantage?
So I think our competitive advantage would be the versatility in subjects that we have and the customizable avatars that we will implement in the future.
Amazing. It's really great.
Okay, I think that's it, isn't it? Right. Thank you, Plain and Simple. Wonderful presentation there. Next up, we have Gibberish. Gibberish to the stage, please. Hello, Gibberish. Might want to say hi.
Sorry, that was screen share. Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Hello, I'm Bryce with Darcy and Anthony here, presenting the Gibberish team's contribution to the Hacktistic Hackathon, answering the question, how can we improve the lives of a group of people with autism? For this, we looked into aspects of people's lives that people with autism have particular difficulty with, and we came to the solution, a focus on addressing issues with socializing. Anthony?
Sure. The statistics shows 90% of people with disabilities, and especially in the autism spectrum, have difficulties to join social activities. Are you part of them, or are you struggling to join social activities? Then our app is for you. Next slide. Thank you. Okay, this one is Sarah. Will you swipe left or swipe right? So 42% of people with autism feel like they need assistance for communication. And we read Sarah's description, and he says, or find it difficult to speak with strangers, and he hoped to improve the people skills. And 34% of people feel this need is unmet. We have to develop an app that is specifically to help people with autism spectrum to show their true self. Instead of a Tinder dating apps, they show their best to the people, and they feel like they are not their true self. And the social anxiety among the people with autism is significant, which affect the group of up to 50%. Here's the app design, and we allow the users to interact with another people from the photos and to understand the social needs and also the autistic needs. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what are the apps we are considering right now? We are trying to create a mobile apps that are able to provide psychological support to the patients or to everyone who use the apps, which differs us from a normal dating apps or social apps, which is safe and friendly to the parents and also to the younger children. And also we have exposure therapy, which is often used to help people with social anxieties. And ultimately, our app is hoped to build social skills for the users. Next slide. Thanks, Bryce.
So essentially our goal with the app is to give people a means to connect in a safe way and encourage them to meet with people with which they could get into social interactions and just build experience through the exercise. These discussions would be ideally centered around their interests and hobbies that they share through their profile in order to provide a starting point for interactions. So our idea is Mallard, a social app where people can get together to work on improving social skills. Users connect, chat, and then organize an outing other people in order to expose and immerse themselves at their own pace. On the side, you can see the information page, which would show up in when a user first starts up the app in order to give them information on the functionality and purpose of this application. Darcy?
So just to continue on from what Bryce was just saying, it have them create a profile and walk them through the app in stages to show all its functions and how to use the actual app. So here we've just designed a wireframe example to show off what the app could look like and various functions. So we picture the user creating their profile and providing details and interests. Additionally, if you tap on their profile picture, it could lead to a gallery where they can show off photos of interests and hobbies, which other people could view, which gives them a jumping off point to start a conversation with. Yep, so they can provide age, their gender, a generalized location like a city rather than an exact location. We've got a people screen, which allows you to find other users near you. You can browse this with search terms for different interests or such filters for, say, different demographics. So we just came up with age groups and gender for one, and a sort function. From here, you can view someone's profile, read their interests and about them, and send them a friend request, basically, which they'd receive. And from that, they can then view your profile and view all your details. And if they accept the request, you can go into a private conversation where you can chat and send event links to each other to organize something to do. So we'd have a kind of just inside the app itself to find things to do. So you can search for events, venues, and what's on in your area. So we just figured you have what other people are doing, local events like conventions or markets or anything going on, a list of venues or an actual map, and you can just search it, what you're searching for, so bowling or movies or anything. And from here, you can select a location and share it with your connection. Additionally, we'd plan a forum as a separate sort of thing. So it'd be a place for people to discuss and share interests and their experiences with other people. This would also allow people to connect with people in a different way. So you could talk about, you'd have different categories to discuss to keep things kind of organized. And if you met someone through that, you could also view their profile and send them a request through that to make a different connection that way.
So hopefully for the application of this app, it will allow users to connect with like-minded people in a shared environment. And from there, being able to go on and interact with other people in multiple opportunities, in that they can exercise their social skills and alleviate their social anxiety. Unlike other open apps, the focus on dealing with social anxiety and alleviating that is the focus of this application. Thank you.
All right, cool. Awesome. Any questions?
Great job. Great job, team. Yeah, I do hope your forum is compatible with Sendtextament. There's already seeing kind of cross-platform connections between different groups. But my first question, my main question is any kind of social app like this, given there's now so many around, so many that are well established, it's hard to get them going. How do you plan to get users?
Essentially, the first idea in order to get people interested was essentially forward the idea around towards possibly just areas like autism groups like this, or like advocacy groups, or possibly people with a focus on like social care or rehabilitation. And then from there, just build a user base, which would be able to, that an autistic user could be able to bounce off, essentially.
Nice, great presentation. I think, yes, this area is very competitive, but I think it's also very much needed. And the reason because some of the platforms aren't necessarily safe. How do you ensure that your platform is being safe and, no one get bullied or discriminated or anything like that?
I see the forums as being moderated to kind of cover that basis. Additionally, we couldn't really come up with any solution to stop, say, the first case of bullying or anything like that. But you could have report people to stop any repetitive thing from going on. And additionally, if you had people sign up with their mobile phone numbers, for example, it makes it a bit harder for them to just make another profile and go straight back at it.
And what the target age group?
We were focusing on essentially younger people, like around young adults. However, like anyone could possibly using this app.
Yeah.
Anthony, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Anthony, you're on mute.
I just see him talking.
I'll just go ask to unmute. That might help. There we go. Anthony. And he's still on mute.
Nope, still can't hear him. No, you've got no sound. Microphone troubles.
Guys.
There we go. Now I can hear.
There we go.
So the target age group will be between 16 to 25-year-old, and the main thing is about like everyone with or without the autism spectrum, they can also sign up. And the main thing is like most of the parents will think the normal dating apps like Tinder or other kind of social dating apps are not safe, and our target audience are between those children or young adults, etc., etc.
Right.
All good. Any more questions for our... One more, Jacob.
Yeah, so forgive me, I haven't actually used any social apps before, but What separates yours from the others? What's the what brings yours to focus on social anxiety?
I think our current one is our current suggestion. It's all focused on the one goal. So whereas I think I was speaking to Tom earlier, you could definitely make a similar group in say meetup.com. But I just think ours is it's more focused. Everything's in one place. So similarly, people are looking for partners or anything to hang out on Tinder, for example, instead of Facebook or Discord. It's the app's more concise and built around the one objective.
I see. It's your marketing to it's your user base that focuses it on.
Yeah, everyone on the app's kind of there for the same thing, basically. So everyone wants to improve their social skills or meet similar people.
Okay, cool.
And what's the business model that you're planning for the app?
I don't think we actually discussed that before, but just off the top of my head, I'd say probably in-app advertisements, or maybe you could have a premium model where people could pay a subscription for some extra features. Or Bryce, do you have anything to add?
No, essentially what Darcy has said.
Yeah, there you go.
Business model we have talked about is about the empathy model. We try to think about in terms of the users, what will they think about the apps? Like if the users are a bus driver, etc., then they will want to see of the events near them whenever they arrive into a certain destination. So that's the major business model where we talk about.
Nice. Fantastic.
One other question, or more of a comment from me. I read a paper last week that said, on average, autistic people that were surveyed in this paper had around 100 special interests over their lifetime and around 8 on average at one time. And so seeing your profile screenshot, it made me wonder if there was for this particular group, a sort of a case for tracking that fluidity of changes and the depth of interest and special interests. Is that something that you considered, or could you see that flexibility happening within the profile?
I didn't look into it personally, but it is an interesting idea.
Yeah, there would be functionality to introduce different interests in terms of the profile tags or in the forums itself. However, yeah, we did not consider that far. If I'm bringing this up in the case of in terms of like a special interest lifetime, if there was ever a point where a special interest just lost ever engagement, that would be possibly something we'd have to look into, but that wasn't something we considered now.
Yeah, thank you.
Main thing we talk about is on the Reddit, which is a forum is extremely popular among the autism people, and we can focus and we can use that as a case scenarios and take those popular special interest topics from Reddit to our apps.
It's a really good platform to utilize.
Yep, thank you.
Exactly.
Is that it? Any more questions?
From me, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Yep, thanks.
Cool. Before we move on to the next speaker, I actually noticed that we had a question from the audience directed towards plain and simple. And that question was, if Vivian or Ira or Sabrina would like to answer, what platform or platforms do you plan to release your plain and simple app?
So right now, since it's using a mouse, it would be on a web platform, like a website.
A website.
Then and then I guess the next platform will probably be mobile. After a while.
Like Android, iPhone, all of them?
We could try both. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Gibberish, and plain and simple now. Guess next up is TalkToMe. TalkToMe. Please come to the stage right now. Paging TalkToMe.
Thank you. I will share my screen.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Sherry, are you there?
So Cecily, can you present the slide? Yeah.
Sure.
Cool, thank you. So hello everyone, we are Team TalkToMe. We have 3 people in our team. My name is Sherry, and also we have Cecily and Ziyuan. So tonight we are going to share with you our product and our idea, Talk to Me. The slogan for our product is experience it, test it, and nail it. And then on the next slide, we would like to talk about what kind of pain points and problem we want to focus on. After a wide range of research and also interviews, we found out 3 burning problems for autistic people. The first one is communication, and the second one is mobility and self-care. And then we discovered that most autistic people cannot effortlessly communicate with others. And also it will directly influence their daily life. The problem they will face is not too many friends and also feel very lonely. And also it's really hard, or not very hard, but feel a little bit hard to communicate in the daily life and also awkward social situations. And so that their daily life cannot be guaranteed. And that's why we want to focus on this problem and also to help them to improve their quality of life. And then on the next slide, we would like to share with you who we want to focus on our targeting customer and user, like John. If you look at the table, we want to focus people like John, who's based in Australia, live in Australia. And also his problem will be more focused on not really good at communication and also not too many friends and also difficulty initiating social interactions and also feel awkward and anxious when performing daily tasks. And his goal is going to talk to people more comfortable and confident. And that's the problem we want to help him to solve. And then the next slide, we would like to have a quick introduction about our product. Our product, Talk to Me, is a lightweight cross-platform application. Our product can simulate real-life social situations. For example, if you want to pick up a delivery in Australia Post Office, we will simulate that real-life situation like post office and also provide the conversation and topic we will have in the post office to help autistic people who have communication problems, to help them practice and rehearse it in our app, and then become more confident to talk to the real post office people in their real life. Our app doesn't like other type of autistic app, only provide pictures or only provide general conversation practices. We have 3 advantages for our product. The first one is we focus on Australian-based people. So our cases and our topics are all based on Australian. And also it's a real-life experience cases. And second one is really easy to use. We don't have any registration or other type of feature, so people can open our app and understand how to use it in a very, very fast way. And the third advantage is we use a special technology, automatic speech recognition, so that our user can not only hear what the conversation and topic from our app, but also they can directly speak to our app. And our app will recognize what their speaking is and also reply to them. It's a kind of simulation like a real life conversation, and then to help them to feel more confidence and more easy to talk to real people. And before we show you the prototype, I would like to share with you some of the business value our product will bring to the market and also to the community. Because of limited time, I will not go through all of it, but one of the highlights I would like to share with you is the cost and revenue stream structure. The cost we will mainly have is mobile and website development maintenance. And also we would like to have some promotion for the market and also advertisements. And also because we want to have a community and also help all types of autistic people. So we will have some labor and community management cost. And the revenue we will have, the first one is the business partner commission, because we not only want to provide very simple daily role play practice,
But in the long-term future, we want to cooperate with different partners, for example, Autistic Club, and also some workshops and also some hospital to provide professional social practice so that our targeting user can not only talk to our app, but also they have another choice. For example, like online class and also online tutorial to talk to real people. And also they can have more information and knowledge to help them to improve their communication skills. And that's our commission come from. And then because we cooperate with different type of partners, not only a little bit, but also maybe more of them. So we can also have some advertisement revenue as well. And that's our business canvas. And then I will hand over to our lovely Cicely to share with you the prototype.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, we have prepared a mobile app prototype just to show how the app will look like. As Sherry mentioned, our goal is to help autistic people to practice social skills. So let's say we provided different themes. So you can pick, for example, cafe or school and other theme. Let's say I always feel uncomfortable and awkward to go to a cafe to order coffee or have small talks. Then I will go to the cafe, and then we will simulate a real local cafe environment, and you can talk to the barista and order coffee. So this is just a prototype. We haven't embedded the natural speech recognition in it, but we have implemented a MVP. So the goal is that you can have back and forth communications with the people in our app. I will show you a video of what we've done with the speech recognition. You will see that it can recognize what you said and respond to you. This is just a simple conversation of how you would order a coffee in a cafe. We plan to offer different voices and different situations. Yeah.
Hi, how are you today? I'm good. Yourself? I'm great. What can I get for you? Can I have a medium mocha, please? Sure. What's your name? Zoe. Great. That's $3.50. It will be ready in just a moment. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yep, that's our demo. I'll hand over to Sherry to talk about our roadmap.
Thank you, Cicely. So as you've seen before, that's our very simple MVP showcase. And if you see the roadmap, Do Now is our MVP focus. We will focus on people who are based in Australia and also provide some daily role-play practice by using automatic speech recognition on mobile app. And then later on, we will expand our targeting user to people who are in English-speaking countries and also provide more professional practice, such as language therapy in different types. And then in the long-term future, we want to across different platforms and also to help people in worldwide and to provide a more professional and more real-life experience. Maybe we will use VR and AR to help them to have a better experience in our app. And that's our roadmap and our plan for our app. And that's all for our introduction. And the last sentence I want to share with you is experience it, rehearse it, and nail it. Thank you.
Yep. Oh, what can I say? You nailed it. Awesome. Thank you. Do we have any questions for this lovely team here?
Yeah, I got something. First up, great presentation. Well done. I was going to ask, so I understand how the natural language processing side of it will work, but for these simulated environments, how do you guide the conversation from the AI? It's not as simple as an AI reacting, and it must be following some script or some direction, no?
Yeah, I think we will start with several scenarios. And for those certain scenarios we prepared, I think, for example, order coffee, and there's normally generally a routine that the user will go through, and we will prepare, I think, a lot of semantic sentences and words in our database. And yeah, that's general the idea. And I think we start from the small idea with certain scenarios, and then generally grow our scenarios when we are confident.
Nice. Makes sense.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
I see there's a question about autistic level 1 to 2. And what we mean by that is people on level 1 to 2 can speak and have conversations with people, but level 3, maybe they are nonverbal. So we are targeting on people who can have this communication.
Right. What's the agents bit about? That's Ilya's question.
Could you elaborate on that?
You can unmute yourself, Ilya, to elaborate.
Just wondering, in the presentation, which I really greatly enjoyed, by the way, well done. When you were showing one of the screens, I think it was the 4th screen, because there were a couple of them, my apologies. You had the very sort of looks like timelines almost, and one of them talked about information agents, which I wasn't sure if there was something that you'd mentioned, and I just kind of, my brain didn't register that information, or if it was something that I actually did miss out on. But yeah, you mentioned it in one of the slides about agents. So it wasn't this one. So if you go further down,
I think.
Yep, right here. So automatically updated information with agents in the text section. So what does the agents bit mean?
Yeah, I think it's a very long time goal, and also it's not 100% confirmed. But our idea for this one is because we're going to collaborate with different partners, and also because all of the real cases are not fixed, they are also updated, and also they're very flexible. So we want to provide add information like dialogue, and also the price, or maybe some of the rules, and lots of these legacy things, like all of these, like automatic, so that if we finally we have one conversation or one topic, we don't need to manually add all of this data or some kind of Apple's price manually. We want to link it to some of them. I don't know, because I'm not a kind of tech person, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also on that same note, because you talked about sort of adding things and building off of what Jacob mentioned earlier, with regards to, Jacob mentioned, sort of naturalistic conversations and how AI works in terms of, how would that work with the program? Is one of the features, is it possible to, for example, if you imagine the following scenario, have a situation where, let's say, with your barista's permission, for example, you go to your local cafe, and you actually record the conversation, and then on, let's say, on an MP3 recorder, just hypothetically, and then afterwards take that MP3 file and import it into the program to use that to then practice with, because obviously at that point, if you have a relationship with let's say a barista at your local cafe, it will be quite it'll be more likely to be quite naturalistic, and so therefore it would be easier for for him, her, they, whatever, to sort of say yeah, sure, yep, come on in, and on whatever day we'll record this 5-minute thing where it might be on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, and they might not even need to care about it, as long as they're okay with it, and then input that and use that as a way to sort of practice with a more naturalistic kind of conversation. Is that something that would be feasible to implement?
Yay.
Sorry, can I clarify your explanation, because I'm not fully understand.
So let's say, for example, sure, let's say that you are my barista, right? And let's say, for example, like, you see Monday to Friday, you see me every day at 7:30 to get my coffee to be functional at work. And so one day I go in, during lunchtime, let's say, and I say, hey, Sherry, look, you've known me for a year now. I've been coming here for forever. Would it be okay if on a random day this week, I came in when I'm ordering a coffee and I had like a pocket recorder to record the conversation because I'm using it to, let's say, to help me, I'd be using it for a program which would help me improve my social skills. And, let's say the barista says, let's say you as my barista, you say, yeah, sure, Ilya, that's not a problem. And so I come in and I say, on a Tuesday, and I have a little MP3 recorder and I'm just recording the conversation. And you're saying, hey, Ilya, what's up? Oh, hey, Sherry, what's going on? Can I get a coffee? Yep. What kind of coffee? The usual sort of thing. Meanwhile, in my pocket, I've got a little recorder. And then, that evening I go home and I take that little MP3 file and I put it into the software. And then I can use that conversation I've had with with Sherry to then go, okay, today I had this thing with Sherry. We talked about it, and she was cool with me doing it. I came in today and I recorded it. Sherry didn't know it was today because she kind of said any day is fine because that way it's more naturalistic because she's not aware of it, so she's not thinking about it, which won't change her behavior. And therefore, now I can practice this material with myself to rehearse it to kind of figure out how to better socialize. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's really great. It's a really great idea, and also that's one of way we cooperate with our partners as well. So because we have different type of partners, and also I think cafes must be one of it. So if we have this type of partner, it's really great. We have a conversation with them and also know more about what kind of dialogue and conversation they will have in their cafe, and we can record it and also put it into our app, and then we can help not only the autistic people but also the cafe to help them to make all the conversation and also more fluency and also more smoothly. So it's a really, really great way to do it.
I love that perspective, and I was just going to mention that aspect, and then yeah. So I think it's really great to offer those restaurants or cafes the ability and give them the tools and resources to how to communicate better or how to make it more friendly for everyone. I do have a question in terms of topics. Where do you try to get the right topics, or for example, the simulation of going to a cafe? What future topics do you have in mind, and where do you get the titles of those topics or those scenarios?
And so it's a really great question. We want to start from very simple topic because we want to have because we are very new to this domain, and we want to start from the daily life topic and to help them to understand some of the not very complex logic, how to do the conversation. And later on, we would like to do some consulting with some of the specialists, and also I want to call out to Lotus, and she gave us a very good idea to talk to Tom and to share the language therapy. So that's one of the way we can also put the therapy things and also professional things and different things into our app to give them different hierarchy and different layer, whatever simple or professional or therapy things to help them to improve their communication in different way.
Amazing.
I have a question regarding your competition. I saw that you listed a few points that you're different to other apps, other solutions in this space. There's a few that I'm aware of. One in particular from the Dan Marino Foundation in the US. They actually recently pitched to our business to encourage us to make use of their solution. Theirs was more about a VR headset you had to wear in order to kind of experience that sort of social interaction. And I can see the downside of that being that headsets are expensive, not everyone's got them. So I'm really intrigued by yours. It stands up well. But I wanted to ask, how much did you look into the competition? How familiar do you feel with the alternatives out there?
I think we focus on very niche market, not a very big range of market, because we want to start from Australian market, and also we want to help people, autistic people near us, or just in Australia. And also because our goal is not only like the first priority is to help autistic people, and also we want to grow our product into like expand our market. So it's step-by-step thing. So I think in different steps we will have kind of agile methodology and to focus on different target user and also different target market. But the main thing is we want to focus on autistic people, so they are our targeting customer, and also we want to have some like community things. So whatever the topic or the feature or technology change, we have our loyal customer and user, and they can we want to like use different sprint or iteration to help them to like to give them more suitable plan and also service.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool. Jacob?
Yeah, I got another question. So it seems like a lot about social anxiety is the fear of the unknown. Am I correct? You don't know what's going to happen in that social interaction. Do you think that rehearsing these scripted, generally uniform, no curveballs things is going to help improve social anxiety? Or do you think it might in fact hurt more? Because if I practice a dozen times and I always go through the same process of barista asks me what I want and I say mocha and then it's easy, and then I turn up at a real coffee shop and my barista's having a bad day, they didn't have any hot water this morning, and they're rude to me.
Can I come at this as a possible side answer as well, possibly, Jacob?
Yeah.
Just as someone who's taught English as second language when I lived in Russia, I taught kids who didn't necessarily, because, Sherry, you mentioned, it's for people in Australia. So presumably there would be a component of people who are not necessarily English native speakers. So I think there could be a helpful component of, if you're not a native English speaker, it could be a useful device or method through which to at least get a sense of the cadence and the commonly used words. Like even as a North American, coming here for about 4 years, every time someone said, "How you going, mate?" my brain just coughed, because like the only context in which you'd ever hear an American say the word mate is sexy time. So, it's one of the things where it's like having getting your brain accustomed to the local jargon or slang of a particular area, I think potentially could be useful. Like that's one of the things I taught my students when I was teaching them English was like, are they going to Australia? Are they going to the US? Are they going to Canada? These things would be useful to think about. And so if you're coming at it from that point of view, I think that could be a potentially a beneficial aside to the design or the features of the software. So I didn't mean to answer over you, Sherry. Just my brain was going, this could be really cool because if you want to teach people English,
Yeah, I see what you mean, Ilya. That's a nice side point. You could use this to familiarize with Australianisms, because it's so Australian centric. Yeah, but I guess I'm focusing more on what happens when there's a deviation from what you've rehearsed and what you experience when you're out in the wild. Is that going to be a positive experience? Obviously not in the moment, but is that going to end up worse overall?
And then the cage comes down.
Can we let the team answer earlier this question, please?
Yes.
I know you're enthusiastic about it, but it is the team.
Yes, thanks for both of you. I think it's a really great idea and also really great point to ask this question. We think about this before as well, because I feel like product is only product. They are not real people. Whatever how clever or how smart they are, they cannot work or rehearse like real people. So that we not only provide some of the simple dialogue or topic in our app, but also we cooperate with different partners, and we will provide some online courses, and all of these contents are from our partner, so that if people feel not really great or they want to learn more about the dialogue and also learn more about how to communicate with others, they can not only talk to our AI person, but they can also talk to the real people, like online tutorial and also other type of things. And also because we focus on community as well, so we can also have some like physical events or meetups to help them not only talk to AI, but also make friends in a physical way. So this is like a long-term goal for us, but for now, we want to just have a start to make people interested in talking and interested in communicating and interested in how to think about how to talk and how to communicate in different situations. So yes, that's a great point.
Yeah, and just add to that, I think when people feel awkward or uncomfortable in socialize with others, sometimes I feel like, for example, like there are chances people are just try to avoid it anymore. They don't talk anymore. So the idea is we provide a relaxing environment for them. They can just at home and try to practice a bit more. And yeah, just when you speak up more, probably maybe the situation will get better. That's the idea.
Yeah, and also a highlight, you can also use our app in lockdown period, like next 7 days.
It's perfect.
Poor Melbourne.
Hey, shut up, you.
All
Yep.
right.
From 12 o'clock tonight.
Any more questions for our Talk to Me? None? Well done, Talk to Me. Thanks for that. And now we've finally come to our final presentation for this evening. The Motley crew of Eccentrics. Make your way to the stage, please. The floor is yours.
Sorry, my computer has decided to not want to share. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Right. Okay.
Here we go.
Good evening, everybody. We are the Motley crew of Eccentrics, comprised of Jason, Marcus, Kristen, who cannot be here today, and myself. Today, we will be presenting our solution to the question, how can we improve the quality of life for a group of autistic people? Before we reveal the project we have been working on, I would like to thank everyone for making this happen. It's been an amazing journey of group discussions, researching, brainstorming, narrowing down ideas, and prototyping before polishing up this presentation. So, what is the problem we're addressing? Executive function. Executive function is an umbrella term which encompasses a few things which come together and help an individual plan and achieve future goals. Through our group discussions and conversations with mentors, we have identified a common struggle among many autistic individuals, and that is remembering to start new tasks, struggling to understand what the first step is in a task, and the order of steps. This results in frustration and panic because the person knows what they want to do, but they are unable to get their brain to cooperate. The resounding effects on not just productivity, but one's mental health as well, has meant that this is an important issue to tackle. As proof that we're not making this up, we have cited a few journals which found planning to be the strongest and most prevalent and deficit in individuals with autism spectrum disorders, and that 22% of individuals in a survey identified scheduling and planning as something they would like to see in assistive technologies. If you still don't believe me, you might believe Reddit, which is the front page of the internet. When it comes to planning, time blocks, steps, to-do lists, timers are things that come up a fair bit. And we have implemented this in our solution, an application which aids the user in scheduling tasks across the day, gamifies the completion of tasks, and overlays a mood tracker with the number of tasks completed. Now we'll move on to a demo of the app. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So once she stops sharing, I'll start sharing. So, hey, can you see this screen?
Yep.
Yep, all right. So here's our prototype. So as you can see, we've got the sign in, and in the front page, it's got the game. So yeah, the game is just every time you complete a task, we want you to feel rewarded. So you'll get points for completing the task, and it will track how many tasks you've done, coins you've earned, and also it will ask you your mood every day, so you can have a track how well you're going in terms of your mood.
I like that.
So the scheduler, how it works, we want it to like work around your existing schedule. So for example, I have a Google Calendar and I have uni classes and swimming classes that are pre-planned, but I also have other stuff I need to do, like coding practice. Maybe I need to clean the kitchen and study maths, and I don't need to do them in any specific time. So for each task, I just add in how difficult do I think it is. So if it's more difficult, I might need more rest breaks. Or if it's really urgent, I might need to have it earlier in the day. So you'll automatically put it earlier in the day, depending on what my preferences are. Obviously, everyone's different. So some people, they might want to do their difficult task first thing in the morning. But yeah, so yeah, and also once you click on the schedule, you can have a subtask. So it breaks down the tasks into even more tasks. I mean, yeah, that sounds stressful, but it's actually really helpful because, you know, when you're looking at one big task, it can be really daunting. So, and also you can tick off the subtasks so you feel a sense of accomplishment. And so, yeah, you can also view tips from other users on how they do the cleaning the kitchen, for example. And yeah, so this is a website that I just made. So there's a calendar view and also a schedule. So you can look at your schedule and you can add subtasks, like new tasks. So every time you want to do a new task, you can add a subtask and you can delete tasks as well. And you can look at your schedule as well. So I'll hand it over to Marcus to look at his game.
So, my name is Marcus, and I developed the game portion of the project, which, yeah. So the main purpose is just basically to build a model. So you've got a bit of an indicator to show where you place things, and you can select different structures and items to place. Now, as you can see, some items can't have things placed over them, while others can. Now, a bit of a more conscientious idea that I've had is that for when you fail tasks, there's a form of punishment. So say you fail a task, a lot of the things you've placed do become grayed out and ruined, forcing you to replace them. But again, this is a bit of a contentious idea, and it depends on how it's implemented. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. So I think continue with the okay. For the advantages of this product would be first and foremost to aid in the progression of tasks, to help us get to complete tasks and to take care of us. It also allows us to customize and schedules so that we can potentially get rests and understand our needs better. And the gamification allows us to remain motivated and provides an incentive to continue. Now, for the with that being said, gamification does pose a few risks. For example, it may not be what everyone expects or what everyone would enjoy, so we have to take into consideration. Another major concern is that the game would become distracting, which is why it's tied heavily to the completion of tasks, as we do not want it to overshadow the scheduling functions of the app. We consider our so compared to other solutions we researched during the process, we find that as there are many issues, things we could feel we could improve on. For example, a Forest, an app that is a similar building game, does not seem to, we feel, doesn't address time management. And Hacktistic, which was a major inspiration for this project for me, doesn't show any mood tracking or planning capabilities. And another issue we found is that certain other apps, such as calendar apps, can be rather boring and can easily lose attention.
Yeah, you can do auto scheduling. It has tips and checklists and timers, and also has gamification and tracks your mood to identify your burnout. So it combines a lot of features from a lot of different apps, I guess. Okay. How do I move to the next slide? Oh, that is the last slide. So yeah. So now we'll move on to the questions.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
In the chat, Ilya asks, would this be an app or a web-based thing? And
yeah, so
did you want to answer this one, Jan? Or
yeah, I think it can be. We can have both a web-based and a app.
Yeah.
But it's mainly supposed to be for mobiles.
With regards to the similarities to other applications such as Dailyo, our app has the unique feature of randomizing tasks, because a lot of the time it's difficult for you to plan your day and work out when to put the tasks, and that is where our function of having the randomizer comes in. And sorry, I'll just share this right now. We think that the highlight is being able to list the tasks that you need to get done for the day and having the algorithm automatically allocated across the day based on how much rest you need and the difficulty and urgency, as we have mentioned before. Yep. So if you go to the planner here, this is where the Help Me plan comes in handy. So it is rather unique, we think. And any other questions?
Any questions from our judges?
I have a few. So first question, is this meant to be my planning app? Do I just open this up in the morning and see what I need to do? Or is this synced to my calendar? Is this okay? So it's not the primary source of information, it just plans for me.
it plans around your existing calendar. So we were discussing the ability to import from Google Calendar and overlay it with the other things that you need help planning. So yes, you would open this up in the morning and see what you need to do, I guess.
Also, I really like that. This isn't a question, it's a comment. I really like that it's not randomized, but the auto planning feature, because I know exactly what you mean. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh no, I've got to go buy the groceries and I've got to clean out the kitty litter and I've got to do this and that and this and that. And it gets, it can feel overwhelming even though you have enough hours in the day to resolve it. But something I don't really see is how the game ties into all of this. What's the value in gamifying completing tasks when that's usually its own satisfaction?
Well, one can get satisfaction from completing the task. Sometimes there is not much satisfaction from, for example, taking out the laundry, and you might need an extra motivation. And we also have the ability to customize the number of like coins depending on the difficulty or length of the task. So people may feel burnt out after a longer task or something that is more difficult and maybe need an extra bit of push to help them get the motivation for that task. And that is where we see the value in gamifying it.
I think it's a very tight line to walk, because you guys pointed out the risks yourselves, and yeah, I can see sometimes gamifying would be helpful, but also at the same time, if I'm just trying to get things done, and I might feel that the game itself is getting in the way, it might be just a struggle in balancing the subtlety of the gamifying features with the utility.
Well, I guess that is up to the person to decide whether it works.
Yeah,
to
I think. Yeah, I think a lot of people said they struggle with finding motivation. So that's why, like, if they don't feel motivated, it's hard to like start the task. So that's why we implemented the gamification, I guess.
I also really like the automized aspect of the app. I think it's really great. I think for everyone, when there's a huge to-do list, it can get really, really overwhelming. So just, automatically planning it out for you, I think it's really great. And know exactly based on your other job or meeting or whatnot. I think that's really great. I do agree with Jacob that on one aspect, gamifying things can make it really fun and exciting. But with gamifying something completely different as a reward can be quite tricky, especially if people already have really fun games that they want to have. So we don't want to create another task. So for example, doing the laundry and playing the game and doing other games that they love. But I think it's a really interesting concept. So yeah, really great stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Yeah, I think the game, like, we tried to make it simple, so it's just like placing a couple of blocks, so it wouldn't like distract them too much, hopefully.
So it's more like my own little cute world.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm sitting there and clicking through. It's just, oh, I'm going to put a plant here because that looks cute. And I like cute plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a fascinating idea. I do. You've mentioned you're trying to bring together quite a few different features from different platforms and other solutions. So I am left feeling like you're trying to take on a lot. But yeah, it's a fascinating collection of ideas, and I can see a need for it. I recently saw an article saying that 7 a.m. is, since COVID started, the new kind of high stress moment of the day across everyone, because a lot of us are starting our days, and without commutes, there's that's the moment of like suddenly looking back at your calendar. So this potentially could be a solution for beyond the group that you're focusing on. Although this also makes me worry about the fact that the complexity of it means it could be it could potentially cause insomnia in terms of the fascination with lining everything up and playing the game. Have you thought about that in terms of an auto shut off or ways to stop people getting too obsessed with it?
I guess in the future, we can also implement a variant or an option to turn off the game. And as said before, mentioned by Marcus, if you do not complete your task, then you will have negative consequences. So I guess that would stop people from getting too distracted by it, because there's a timer on the top of the front page that tells you how much time you have left for your rest time or how much time you have left for the next task. And yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like that answers Kate's question here in the chat here, who remarked that the heavy gamification is her problem with Habitica. If she can recall correctly, you can't just get into it lightly. You have to learn about the game and set things up. And there's a high time investment before you start. And if the game isn't a draw for you, it's annoying. So I guess you can just turn it off in the way you've explained, and you have to be able to choose for yourself whether it distracts you too much, I guess. That's what it says. There is one more question, I believe. Was this answered? How would the app handle a user inputting more tasks than there are hours in the day?
Yes, I think that's definitely a problem. So I think it needs to prioritize the urgent tasks first. So if there's too many tasks, it will just only slot in the urgent tasks. And then I guess remind you tomorrow to do the other tasks.
I've got a potential idea on that one. You could, as you add tasks, you could simply set a deadline for the tasks, and the deadline doesn't have to be today. So if I say I've got this set of things that I need to do over the next week, and some of it's due on Tuesday and some of it's due on Thursday, the scheduler can help me find what order I can execute them in that will make sure that they're all done before the deadline without leaving me fried in 26 hours of work a day.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, just having a deadline for the task.
Cool. We have one more question from the chat here. Can you put in your own rewards, or does the app provide them?
So what we were considering initially was for the app to generate the number of rewards based on the duration and the difficulty of the task. But of course, the user would be the one who is rating the difficulty. So
Any more questions? That's it seems. Well, thumbs up. Thank you to all of our participants. Brilliant.
Ooh, well done.
Well done. Yeah, so thank you all to our lovely contestants. Now the time has come for our judges to deliberate. What does the chat say? So basically, I trust you judges know how to create your own Zoom account, whatever, a Zoom meeting, or however way you wish to, to discuss and deliberate and concur and confer and all the fancy words.
Believe it or not, I have not used Zoom before.
What, this is your first time?
I think I had it for one class a couple of years ago.
Right, but you use Teams every day though. It's basically the same.
Yeah, I just need to find the new call button.
Uh-huh.
Do we have a room set up? If not, I can do that.
No, you can set it up for yourself.
I'll do that and send a link round.
Just to Sinai and Jacob, please.
Indeed.
And then basically when you're done, come back to the room and send me a text saying you're ready to announce.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
See you guys in a minute.
Or not too many minutes anyway. Bye now.
Bye.
I guess we'll just hang out here and like just be pretty and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the part of the conversation, part of the bit which we call the interval, where you just talk about anything like.
Somebody quick, put on the elevator music.
Don't you tempt me. I know, we should talk about Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah, that's something we could potentially talk about. I mean, if there are any community groups here or sponsors, they could talk about their thing, whatever it is they do. Software, I think it is.
Yeah, it's just something we did once when we had a meeting that wrapped up one day, like 2 months ago, I think it was. And like, Tom's like, what are the things that are on people's minds? And I was like, there's a new Fast and Furious movie coming and they actually have a flying car. And one of the guys was like, I'm sorry, what now? And it just turned into this sort of like nerding out over the ridiculousness of that series. And it's become like a running gag now.
Jacob, do you mind sending me your email address and then I can send you the link?
Yep. Okay, apparently I'll send the message here, but it'll appear in the chat.
You can send it privately to Sinai if you wish.
Yeah, there's
it says privately.
Well, if you look at the very bottom of your screen where the chat bit is, it says send chat to everyone, and then you can actually choose someone's name. So you can choose Sinai, and then it'll just go directly to her, and no one else will see it.
Yeah.
Help me, Lord. I'm a non-tech person helping out a programmer. What?
Specialists, huh?
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Cool.
It's like engineers, brilliant people, but have with no concept of what spelling means.
Yeah, you're right.
I've proofed and edited so many master's theses and PhDs by people who are engineers and like chemical, computer, everything. And it's just kind of like, do you guys know what a homonym is? And they're like, what's a homonym? It's like, you know that you used, there in the wrong way. It's like, oh, oops.
All right, you all sorted, judges?
You're still here, Tom.
I'm not a judge.
Okay.
I'm
Might be a conflict of interest.
Not a judge.
Yeah, that probably would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something that I really probably need one of the judges to answer, but hey, there was a mention of, what was it, 8 interests at a time and 100 in a life, and I'd like to find that article.
Which one?
Mentioning people having 100 special interests in their lifetime and averaging 8 at a time, I think were the numbers that he mentioned.
I would like to read this now as well because I'm furiously Googling this and nothing's coming up.
Yeah, I didn't manage to Google it particularly well, so we'll have to wait till he comes back and is free to think about it, I guess.
Sounds about accurate to me.
Is this? There's an article on Spectrum News. I don't know if this is the one, Kate, that you were thinking of, but have a look at that link I just put into the chat. All right, hold on a second. Sorry, what, sweetie? Somewhere maybe. I'll find it afterwards. Sorry, my friends, I was just asking me something. So I found this article, the one on the Spectrum News. But everything else is compound interest calculators.
Oh, really? That's not what came up for me, but okay. Yes.
Yeah, I just typed in 100 special interests, averaging 8 at a time, eighth at a time, and just trying various word permutations. I'm getting like Macaulay duration versus modified duration on Investopedia.
Wow.
Which it's like, dear Google, do you even know what I'm doing?
Clearly not.
Yeah. Either that or my Google foo is really poor.
It's Google foo is not objective, really.
Time.com. You now have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. Thanks, Time. Thanks.
Yes, but.
It's like, yes, exactly, but. Also, completely unrelated, I found out today when I was teaching my class of stage 2 kids, which is like 7 to 9 years old. A bunch of them at 7 years old now have Instagram accounts. And it's like, you're 7 years old with an Instagram
really?
account. Oh, God, the world must be weird for you.
Ooh, I don't think mine do, but I haven't asked. Ooh.
Might be worth asking about. Because every time it's like, I look at accounts where they have like shoes and stuff, and it's like, cool.
That's why you both
It
teach
could be
ethics,
worse,
don't you?
but oof.
Yeah. Then one of my coworkers who teaches another class right next door to me said one of her kids today, that lessons where they're talking about the environment and talking about how Xbox games are made. And one of her kids raises his hand and says, who the hell even plays Xbox? That's so old. And it's like, ow. Like, it's only like 6 or 7 years old. Damn, kid.
Well, I had to contend with, it's been several weeks running when this one kid tries to take over a class, talking about the Illuminati.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait, are you teaching like proper elementary school or primary ethics like me?
Ethics. Oh, you're doing ethics too. Yes, ethics.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's a stage 3 kid.
Okay, yep. I've got some of those as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually do stage 1 and 3. Yeah.
They brought up Illuminati. Oh my God.
Oh,
How? Oh. How does this even, no, Illuminati are not real. We're not talking about this anymore. Bad puppy, no, like.
Yeah, basically, just he won't shut up. And is also obsessed with things like turning the lights off, even when other people want them on. And okay, we can handle a class with the lights off because nobody's reading anything except for me. But
wow,
it's not the most organized and in control class ever. It's only 5 kids, this one.
And that's why behavioral management that they teach you during the training is so important.
Yes, but not enough.
And that's
to be fair, I did it 10 years ago.
Yeah, so you can just be like, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to put, you can just like, look, at this school, we do not discuss it. It's not matter. We just like, this is a known fact. That do not exist. It was an order. It's been extinct since like 1627 or so. Like there's no basis in history to think they exist anymore. They're gone. I can ask a historian. Done. Like just hire a historian to come and be like, I have a PhD in history. I can tell you all about how this is garbage.
I guarantee you that there's a number of groups that think they are the Illuminati that are operating today.
Yeah, probably.
I think you'd be very right. It still is sad and annoying, but yeah, I can't completely. Well, there are many bases to shut him down that aren't you're wrong, that this is not relevant and you're being incredibly rude. But he's some people aren't interested in listening to feedback like that.
Ask him if this is because he's spent way too much time playing Deus Ex.
Oh, yeah?
Because a lot of the newer generation, they're rediscovering Deus Ex, and Deus Ex was posited around the idea of like, what if every single conspiracy from the 90s was true?
Oh, no.
And so the entire, I mean, it's obviously it's alternate history game, but that was sort of the comic underlying premise, if you will, for the game. And except, the problem is the developers of the game, like Warren Spector and Harvey Smith, they've had interviews since where they've publicly said, when we made this in the early 90s, we were just kind of kidding around because like, surely no one would take this seriously. I mean, it's a philosophy game where we posit every single conspiracy on earth is true, which is a bit ludicrous. Now, in the post-Trump era, we kind of wish maybe we had a little bit more foresight and clarity and maybe had done something a little bit different. Because now they're like, maybe we were, because they said like, we hope we didn't like actually add to like and fuel the fire of this, but a part of us is kind of going, we contribute to this nonsense? If so, oh God, what have we done? They're hilarious when they hear him talking about it. But yeah, wow. Muhammad only got his first phone when he was in university. Wow.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, my first mobile phone I got because I was going to be driving at night and things, and you put the phone in the car in case you break down, and then you've got to remember to take it out of the car and give it back to the rest of the family and charge it and all, and it was all a big deal, and you would forget to take it, and it didn't last long until I got into politics and like needed to actually be contacted. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Because I thought mine like in high school.
Maybe you're younger. I don't know. Or weren't in Australia.
No, I wasn't. I definitely wasn't in Australia. The accent should kind of give that away.
People had phones in the 90s in America in high school.
Yeah,
some people, yeah. This
like
was the 90s, 1999. Thank you very much. Huh.
Yeah, I had my first phone in like, God, 1997. And I was in like, God, first year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah. A long time ago in a galaxy.
First year of high school is 9th grade though, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
telling me
yeah.
Your first phone is as old as me.
Yeah, I'm 39, turning 40 next month.
Yeah, I did immediately assume when you say high school, that's, yeah, what is it, a 12 something years old, but right, yes.
Yeah.
Other places, high schools are.
Yeah, because Americans start high school usually when we're around 15 years old, and we 14 to 15, and we finish when we're about 18, turning 19.
Oh, okay, so you actually finish later.
Yeah, so Australians finish anywhere between like 16 and 18.
Well,
yeah,
I've been told.
They do start school in September though, so
yeah,
the school year, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Talk seems strange to me, but hey.
Yeah, it's like having to explain to Australians like we have junior high and we have middle school, and they're basically the exact same thing. We just have the same. We have two different words for the same thing because we are weird.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, they don't really allowed mobile phones at high school. I mean, at least not 20 years ago or whatever. So it was pretty much as soon as I went to uni, I got a hand-me-down phone and went through several hand-me-down phones. So yeah.
20 years ago, you could hope to regulate that kind of thing. Now, probably not so much.
I mean, I just tell my students to put their phone in the, if I see a phone out, it's like, okay, first opportunity, it's in the bag. Like put it in the bag now. If you pull it again, it's mine to the end of the lesson. And that's sort of like the rule that we use at Croydon and Mount Cola and a couple other places. Like it's just like while we're in a lesson, no phones.
I mean, 20 years ago, it was an actual legit phone, but now it's so much more than a phone.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, we had the TI 87s or TI 890, whatever it was, like the calculators, and people had those, and that was fine because like people legitimately found that helpful because not everyone could do like mathematics in their head, and that's fine. And then you get like that one clever kid who programmed like GTA 2.5 into his TI calculator because he was a smartass. But otherwise, it's just nowadays it's much harder. Also, by the way, Marcus, your voice is beautiful.
Yeah, you should do nature documentaries. Seriously.
I was sitting there like messaging Tom saying like, Marcus's voice is beautiful. Like legitimately, like, dude, you should be doing documentaries.
Okay.
I mean, you sound 20 years older than you actually are when you speak, like an old lugubrious man narrating nature documentaries,
Also, could you do me a favor, Marcus? Can you say 2 words for me?
Okay.
Can you say the first word? Can you say the word penguins?
Penguins.
Okay. Now, can you say Benedict Cumberbatch?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Okay. So, do you know the gag behind that?
Does Benedict Cumberbatch not have trouble pronouncing penguins?
He did a nature documentary about South America, about like where they the Darwin went, oh my God, it's gonna name the island and area, but and he was on the Graham Norton show, and Graham decided to pull the clip out, and Benedict, you could just see him like shrinking into himself because it's like it starts out kind of okay where it's like penguins, and then just he completely loses the plot, and it's like it becomes Penwing and Penguin, and he just and he's sitting there mortified, and he explains like, but Graham, the thing is, like, you're not just sitting there autonomously in a phone booth. There are trained professionals like 3 feet away, and they said nothing for the weeks I was filming this. And it's like, meanwhile, you can see the wild-crested penguin, and it's just, oh my god, it's hilarious. And so when you're talking, my brain's going, he sounds like Benedict Cumberbatch if like he took like a bunch of like calming drugs.
Well, on that topic, does anyone have any questions about WiseTech? I suppose it's what it's
That's on that topic.
What's that got
Well,
to do
I
with
couldn't
Benedict
think of a
Cumberbatch?
smoother transition,
Segue.
so I just pretended there was one there. It's my go-to move.
Well, if you're hiring someone who's not at all a programmer, but who's a creative and good with like doing like communications work, I am desperately seeking employment because I am so tired of unemployment. Well,
We have a lot of people that aren't coders. We are a tech company at our heart, but we're certainly not all coders. A number of people on my team that are in product work or graphic design or all different types of things.
Well, I'm just going to put my LinkedIn thing right there into the thing. You can just have a look at it because I do weird crap, and like people are like, "What's your career?" I have no idea.
Good.
Yeah, Ilya, did you see the message in the chat the remark from Muhammad here that says you can't hide your baby face behind that beard, and he thought you're in your late 20s, which is
I was funny story, Muhammad, because I met Tom at a trivia show where I was hosting before COVID, and we had a couple who were there one night, and they thought I was from America on a like exchange program, and that I was 22 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sitting going like, you're so very off by like a decade and a bit. How do I tell you this without it being rude?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I finally aged out of people assuming I'm their age when they're
Well, Kate, if you shave your beard, maybe you too can be baby faced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just get right on that. Oh, it's discrimination, I tell you.
Well,
Beard discrimination.
It probably surprise you to learn that I'm 37. Actually, probably won't surprise you to learn that, given Ilya's remarks there. I mean, the thing is, it's a common autistic trait that we tend to look younger than we actually are. So,
True.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also Slavic genes, baby.
Anyway, I've noticed that our judges have returned to the chat. This may suggest that they have a result.
Gasp! Shock! Horror!
Da, da, da.
Uh-oh!
At this point, I would like to share the screen. Famous victores. Judges. We shall have the honor of announcing in third place, second place, and the first place winner.
Put my hand up for third.
Okay.
So for third place, a bit of preamble. It was pretty tough. There's a lot of really good solutions, and it took a while, but we have to pick, and so we've come up with a list. And so at the third place, we have a motley crew of eccentrics with their planner.
Hey. Well done.
We thought that the planning elements of it were really good. The automatic elements were great. I even particularly like the subtasks because that's something I always struggle with. Some comments for going forward. I would suggest, and I think the rest would agree, lighten up on the gamification features. You probably want to just limit it to some basic kind of customization. If you look at other apps like Duo, helps you learn languages, all of the effort that you put into Duo, the only gamifying features you get out of it are some coins. It can hold a streak, and it can You can customize your avatar. It's a very basic gamification, but it's very effective. And you might find that that helps for what you're trying to achieve.
Cool.
Amazing. All right.
I can go for, shall I do the second one?
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, great job to the team in third place, and great job to everybody. It really was difficult to choose. Second place, we have Sentextament. I hope I'm saying that right. The team that went first. It was
Maze.
Liquid Maze.
Liquid Maze, the team name. It is solving a very clear problem. I think it's a challenge for a lot of people, and distinguishes itself well from other kind of reaction sort of emoticon options out there. We did think that you started off with portraying the solution in terms of how to understand how other people communicate, and yet the outcome seemed to be more focused on how you communicate outwards. But that also still seemed a good thing worth getting into. I think it'll be challenging to get people like WhatsApp on board, but I think the idea itself holds merit enough that we think you should give it a go. And it really was impressive team effort, and great idea. So congratulations to your team.
All right, first place. This is a huge prize. And again, congratulations to everyone. I think everyone did a fantastic job. But the team that we thought that did an incredible job had a very great business plan and really thought out. They were able to answer all the questions that we asked. As well, they had a really good idea of how to scale and go globally. I think they were really great. So the winning team goes to TalkToMe. Woo!
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Awesome. Thank you, teams. Thank you, judges. So basically, all these amounts are in cash prizes. What I will do is get in touch with the winning teams and ask for one team member to give us like bank details into which we'll deposit the amount and then distribute the prizes accordingly.
Wait, Mohammed, make sure you select everyone and not me when you're messaging, because you just sent congrats, I'm so proud to me and sent it to the group. By the way, Mohammed is very proud of you.
So yes, just to confirm, third place is the Motley crew of Eccentrics, second place is Liquid Maze, and first place is TalkToMe. With thanks to our sponsor, my employer, Jacob's employer, Damo's employer, Wistek Label. Great company. They're hiring. We're always hiring.
Well done, everyone. I want to say something really quick. We're doing lots of testing at the moment with our game at Action Play, and I would love for anyone to really participate, give us feedback. We just want to make it the best as possible. Tom and Ilya already been testing out and giving us incredible feedback, and we were actually able to feed it back into the game. So
Poor Yulia. I subjected her to like an hour and a half of like explaining UIs from like role-playing games.
You were the greatest. I'm sure she appreciated your feedback very, very much.
I'll pop in the my email address as well as the link.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking game. The music in the game is really just gorgeous. The developers are really, really friendly. Their lead designer, Yulia, she has a massive interesting background, and she's really good at listening and taking on feedback. And Sinai is very good about like learning from people as well. Like I, gave Sinai options, like, ideas like, cause like Fig, for example, is a business thing, which developers use because I'm a giant gaming nerd. It's a lovely company. Like, as I told Sinai, if they were ever hiring, and I don't care what it is, if it was just peanuts, like I would be like the first to hurl myself physically at their office windows to get a job, because they are such a cool company.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Highest praise.
And they're doing good work. I mean, the idea is they have really cool artwork. the production is really good. It's, you know, it's a small team, which means that there's, my impression from having sat there is that they talk to one another well. So there's a lot of esprit de corps, which is really what you want in a video game company. It seems like a very personalized, tight-knit kind of family crew, which is really, really important.
Thank
So,
you for that.
All right. Okay. Well, it seems like we've basically come to the end of this. Amazing journey, amazing week for me personally. It was a realization of a long dream of mine to host an autistic themed hackathon, and we did it.
hey,
It's
Tom,
done.
take a look at that window. See all those people there?
All those people?
You did that.
Yeah.
You did this. This is your baby. You did it.
You did it too, Ilya. We all did it. And that's why I say thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to our clever contestants for your hard work and amazing ideas, which, you know, get in touch with us, stay in touch with us. We hope to help you turn all this into a reality. Like all of them, not just the ones that won, like any ideas, we're open to it. You know, we'd love to develop it further. To you, yes, to you, our lovely audience, we hope you have been suitably impressed tonight from the talent on display. And maybe you've learned a thing or two. To our judicious judges, your expertise and commitment to improving the autistic lot in life knows no bounds. And yes, to our loyal Lions, this great club of ours, the Sydney Autism Community Lions Club, we've been doing this for 3 years now.
So 3 years?
3 years we've been serving the autistic community.
God damn, I'm old. Okay.
Actually, you know what I learned today? Today is the 2-year anniversary since we filed paperwork to incorporate. Facebook reminded me of that fact. So yeah.
Wow.
But no, we've been actively serving the community now for, well, actually, we've been having meetings every month. We meet every fourth Thursday of every month and do lots of cool things. And like this hackathon, I'm sure you'll all agree, is rather cool. We'd like to do more of them. And if you think if you'd like to do more cool stuff and you'd like to help out and you're community minded, please do join us. I mean, we'll definitely, all you people on Discord will definitely be getting in touch with you more about that. I mean,
So I mentioned, Tom, the thing that we discussed today, the next thing.
Sorry?
So I mentioned the thing that you and I discussed earlier today, like, you know, for the keeping the pulse going, as it were.
Please do. What
Yeah. So following this, you know, to keep kind of like the drive going, as it were, one of the things we've been kicking around an idea that I did when I was in university, because again, being a giant gamer that I am, we were discussing potentially having some sort of like autistic video game, like kind of like a LAN party sort of thing, which we're still kind of ironing out what that would look like, how that would work. But given that, you know, that Victoria is going through, you know, Godfather Part 3 COVID kind of thing, we kind of thought it would be really cool to have like a LAN session of some sort using an open source game, like, you know, Quake. There's Open Arena Quake, for example, just to give one example of many that we possibly have where people could come in and play that, or it could be like an RTS, you know, StarCraft style game where we could get people's, you know, ideas or thoughts around like developing you know, a autistic style sort of game, or identifying where video games don't necessarily work for autistic people. So for example, a friend of mine, she has oh god, the thing with the lights, where epilepsy, thank you, epilepsy, English fail, epilepsy. And so she can't play certain video games because of like the flashing lights kind of thing. And so it was interesting to learn that, kind of go, okay, so you can play, like, for example, Red Alert, but any of the Quake games, because of the flashing lights and stuff, just, you know, or Doom or whatever, forget about it. You can't do it.
Well, I can't play video games because of motion sickness, but anyway.
Yeah, or motion sickness, for example. So I was thinking it'd be interesting to have a sort of a night, kind of like what the Melbourne Autism Community Lions Club do, where they have a gaming session once, I think it's once a month on a Saturday. And, you know, kind of have like a regular way to kind of like have like a video game meetup, as it were, for autistics. Also known as Shooty Bang, online Shooty Bang.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Because I love running around and, you know, shooty banging things and you know, Quake and Doom and Call of Duty and stuff.
But yeah,
I am
no,
child. Hear me roar.
you'll definitely be hearing more about this on the Discord and on our socials, Facebook as well. And if you want to learn about more of what we do, simply go to our website, sydneyautismlions.com, and read our blog where you can see all the great things we've done, like the trampoline we bought for a little autistic girl. That was pretty nice. Yeah.
We're also considering trying to, and this is something I'm working as a project, doing an online escape room.
An escape room, yes.
So Meta came up with the idea. She's not here tonight. It was her idea initially, but because you can program escape rooms. I'm not a programmer, but like a lot of the stuff is, it's simple enough to do it that you can even just do it with Google Forms. Actually, it's impressively. So it's something we've been kind of going like an autistic themed escape room. You can do a 3D one. You can do a text-based one like Zork. For those of you who are old enough to remember that, I'm revealing my age now. But you know, so we're discussing doing that as well. So these are things we thought would be fun and engaging to kind of keep the momentum from the hackathon.
Yeah. And what about that documentary we're working on?
Yes, we're working on a incredibly, it was going to be a lot simpler until COVID decided to assault Melbourne again. We're doing
the documentary was about COVID, but anyway.
Yeah, so it's a documentary basically talking about how people who are autistic actually dealt with COVID. And so I filmed myself, Tom, Meta, and Russell has filmed himself a little bit with his wife. And I think Thomas has filmed, his son has filmed himself as well. They were going to do a live filming of it in Melbourne, and then South Australia decided to be a right prick to Victoria and unleashed COVID on Victoria again. So they can't do that now. That's being postponed, but we're hoping to actually do it and edit it and turn it into like a 20-minute documentary.
I don't know. I mean, would you consider interviewing more people, like more interview subjects?
Absolutely. If you want to be my monkey, I will film you.
Yeah, get in touch with Ilya. We need more people. Make it more the merrier, I'd say.
Come to me. Yes.
So this is the kind of thing we do as a club, you know, lots of cool, fun projects. And actually kind of this hackathon was a way to find new potential projects that we want to implement. I mean, seriously, we'd love to help some of these projects tonight, you know, all of them maybe even become reality. Like, obviously we are not for profit, and some of these look like things that have a, you know, commercial bent to them, but nevertheless, I mean, there are some great ideas here, and if you'd like for us to, you know, help implement, do join us. Do consider joining our club, you know, whether in a formal or an informal sense. You know, the more the merrier. We want to really grow this community. And that usually also involves harassing Mike Tozer politely. Yeah. Politely. Politely. Well,
In what sense?
Oh, just that, you know, because obviously, you know, you're a busy man. You've got a family. You've got a wife. You know, the whole lot. And so it's like the fact that you're so willing to do this, to find time to do this, and to speak to me, you know, one-on-one on the side as well, is to say that we're grateful. I don't think that quite. There's no word quite sufficient enough in English to kind of convey like how grateful we are that you're willing to find the time to do this, given how busy you are. Like, you lead a company that is not a small endeavor. Like, it's, you know,
I'm more than happy. I love. Last time I came, I had so many fascinating conversations. I couldn't sleep for about 3 hours afterwards. So,
and poor Meta grilled you something fierce. Like, she's so lovely, and just like, she's like, oh my God, wow. Like, it's like you're being interviewed or something.
No, it's just what I like to hear. Worse is when people don't say what they're thinking, and then I don't get the real questions. So yeah, no, really happy to be involved, and I'll take this moment as well to say we've got more jobs at Exceptional with our clients at the moment than we've ever had before. So yeah, if you are looking for work, then we've definitely still got a certain. We don't have jobs for everybody, but yeah, if you are looking for jobs in the business or technical sector, get in touch with us.
Sounds good.
In the words of Wayne's World, we're not worthy.
Hey, we're not worthy.
And of course, do you have any great poupon?
Shall I continue this Thank Fest, as I like to call it?
Well, we are all about praising people who help, so it is appreciated.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm basically thanking you, Elia, for broadcasting the hackathon far and wide with your media release.
Yeah, we found an Excel file that was produced. I think it was by the SBS or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SBS have really insecure internet. And we found a contact list from 2019 of every media relations in the country. And then we put that to excellent use, spamming the entirety of the media. It was just kind of like, how did you leave an Excel file with like a secure file with media contacts from every major like media, news, publishing, everything, names, email, phone number, like holy crap, security violation. We totally didn't use that file at all.
Your taxpayer money at work.
Yes. Yes, we totally just left that file alone.
No, but in all seriousness though, thanks for that, and thanks for being my sounding board and rock of sanity throughout all of this as well. I really do appreciate that.
It's an honor and a pleasure, and it keeps you sane.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at a 4-day Lions convention.
Oh yes. The less said about the convention, the better. So, and you've heard enough about that.
Yeah.
I won't subject the rest of the people to that. Yeah.
Suffice to say, I would have lost my brain within like an hour.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Meta, who's not here tonight, was nonetheless rather helpful. She basically gave me a welcome pack from a hackathon that she was doing last year, and that pretty much, informed the design of the welcome pack that you contestants got, as well as much of the running of this hackathon too. I mean, actually, I pretty much sourced from many different sources. I mean, the Programmer Society also helped out as well, and basically years of experience, not just running hackathons, helping out hackathons, but also running programming competitions as well, kind of informed this too. So help from pretty much everywhere, and I'd like to think we pulled off something rather successful. Special thanks to Lotus, who may or may not be in the call, for her sage mentoring. I mean, invaluable mentoring.
She's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks,
Sup?
Lotus. You're amazing. You rock.
She does really cool artwork as well. She made a pamphlet that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
What?
The pamphlet that you made, which is just expertly, beautifully designed. You have a great
Yeah.
designer's eye.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and also want to thank our mentors as well for your insights, advice, and your troubleshooting and all the cool stuff. Damien's in the call. Robin's in the call too. Thanks, guys. Lynn Song, Brenton, Paul, who's actually my team member. Like he's in my team at work, and he put his hand up. Paul Middleton.
No.
Nice guy. Not here tonight. And Cooper. And if I've forgotten anyone else, I haven't forgotten you, Lotus. Sorry. And of course, we must always thank our superb sponsor and my company, the company that made me who I am today, who utterly changed my life. And
no,
not even kidding. You can read all about that on our website. They interviewed me, but thanks for the cash monies and for pushing the bejesus out of this event, particularly in this last week. And yeah, for being a great supporter of autistic talent like me and Damo and Jacob. And special thanks to various people in HR who are not in the call tonight. And also special thanks to our committed community partner here, Hackathons Australia, who basically champion hackathons as a tool for innovation and change. Angela, who's the CEO and founder of said organization, isn't here tonight because it's probably like 3:30 in the morning over there or something in Nashville, where she's based these days, so having recently located. But yeah, she bigged up our little community hackathon here, totally for free, which is highly appreciated. And I think we probably got half our entrants from their mailing list. So yeah, Livia, who's also with Hackathons Australia and who I've known since for about 11 years now. We go back a long way. She's in the call. We also ran ProgSoc together with Jacob. Three different presidents from the same society, same student society in the one call. When does that ever happen? You know. So yeah, thank you, Livia, for coming. And thank you for also your work in the hacker sphere, if you will, hackathon sphere as well. And finally, to everyone who came here tonight, I say to you, bear witness to this moment. For I believe that truly transformational change for autistic kind shall emanate from all your ideas that came from our humble little hackathon. You mark my words. And to everyone who participated, thank you. We love you. We hope to see you all again really soon. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Edward Murrows.
Good night and good luck, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Edward R. Murrows. G. Murrows? Edward G. Murrows. Edward R. Murrows. Whatever the two. Whatever. All right. So on that note, I'm going to escape because there's pizza waiting for me.
Awesome.
So thank you everyone again for coming. It is muchly appreciated. And as I said in German show, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.
Catch you all later.
Bye, Elia. Yeah, thanks for all you coming. Very nice.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Tom for letting me be a judge, and thanks everyone for showing me the amazing stuff you've made over the last week, just 1 week.
No worries, Jacob. Pleasure to
Yep,
have
great
you.
job everyone. Great to meet some of you for the first time and seeing some of you again.
Thanks
for
back, Mike.
having me as a judge.
You're always welcome. Yeah, we're always here, every month, here on Lines.
Oh,
Bye now.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Bye now.